This is, excuse me, a
Damn fine cup of coffee. Hey everybody, welcome to Sketchcraft Live. This is me. Sounds of Sketchcraft. Virus free. For now. Oh boy. Alright. Let's got the coffee. Hey everybody, if you'd like to tip me a coffee, if you enjoy what you're about to see, or you've enjoyed previous shows, but you're like, hey, I'm poor, can't afford much. $3 goes a long way. It exposes me to the coronavirus. Lets me go get a coffee. If you want to kill me prematurely, tip a coffee. Oh, let's get started.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Every day, once a day, give yourself a present. Don't plan it, don't wait for it, just let it happen. It could be a new shirt at the men's store, a cat nap in your office chair, or 2 cups of good, hot, black coffee. Like this. A present. Like Christmas. Oh, man, that hits the spot. Nothing like a great cup of black coffee.
Hey, what's up, Bitterfrost? 1 second. Sorry, I haven't talked much today. Hmm. Hey, what's up? Dom John? Dom John? Cool name. Oh, cool. I did not know that. Cool name. Oh, I'm doing well. Doing all right. Just trying to get this cover done. Ah, thanks. Hey man, I can't type worth shit, so don't stress over it. What's up, Psycho? Why do I mainly stream here and not on Twitch? Well, you see, that's where you're wrong. I am right now streaming on Twitch as well as YouTube at the same time. So if you go to sketchcraftlive.com, that'll take you right to my Twitch channel, where I am talking to Bitterfrost. What's up, Bitterfrost? Bitterfrost is over on the Twitch. So I stream to both. Sure. It's up right now. I appreciate it. I try not to make anyone choose between platforms on streaming, you know? I'm also streaming on Facebook, but Facebook randomly cuts off. I appreciate it. If it randomly cuts off, I don't know what to do about that. I've done everything I can do. Yeah, some people prefer one or the other. The thing though is my YouTube has the largest reach, so I can't just drop it. I mean, I have 16,000 followers, and I get at least 100 to 1,000 people notified when I stream. So with Twitch, I like Twitch. It's like, which one you want to own, Rob? A Sega Genesis or a Super Nintendo? I'm like, both. Maybe Twitch just doesn't notify people when I'm streaming. It's possible. Oh, I wish, but I've been on Twitch for a long time, man. So, we'll see how it goes. Hasn't happened yet. Weekend raids. Maybe. I'll be honest, man. Like, once I get done with this, I have to go on to like other work. So, I wish I was on Twitch for fun, but like this is work. I got other work that needs to be done as soon as I'm done with this. And then more work, and then more work. Nah, don't even stress over that. It's all good. If I was a faster artist, I'd have more free time to do all sorts of stuff. I have one speed, you know, it's just... Tried all the tricks in the book. At the end of the day, it's just... Things just take a while. Of course, drawing robots at the level at which they were CGI rendered is probably not the most efficient use of my time. But I picked this. No one can blame me but me on this one. This one's my fault. my bad, dogs. Had I really thought this one through, I would not have done the Turtles piece in conjunction with this piece. Probably not the smartest idea. Always appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Good sleep. Sleep is good. Virtual on. Same cover. Oh, nice. Oh, good night, Bitter. Ashley's always killing it.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You know, this is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee. let you in on a little secret. Every day, once a day, give yourself a present. Don't plan it, don't wait for it, just let it happen. It could be a new shirt at the men's store, a cat nap in your office chair, or 2 cups of good, hot, black coffee. Like this. A present. Like Christmas.
It's my theme song now.
Oh, man, that is the spot.
Doesn't it?
Nothing like a great cup of black coffee.
Hey, what's up? It's going well. Just Yeah, it's relaxing. I enjoy the painting part. What is this I am drawing? It's a cover to Megavisions issue 9, featuring Virtual on this is the layout. The line art will go here. The cover art will be the cover art, obviously. It's a retro game on the Dreamcast, back from 2000. And then it'll go there as well. Yeah, thank you. So, you can kind of see. Like, I already got the big robot back there. No, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, like, look, because it's the cover and it needs to be 100% recognizable as Virtual On from the get, like, I sort of tend to side on adding all the cartoony detail. I mean, the details, you know? I do think, though, that I could have saved myself a lot of time if I just really stylized the shit out of them, but I don't know. Because it does take me a while. Yeah, I know. I'm what I'm talking about is like I probably would have found, I don't know, a more simpler. Think about it a lot. Like when I was doing I did these Transformers covers a couple years ago, and you know, like the level of effort I put into those covers, considering I still had to ink and color it, is probably not the smartest fucking use of my time. So. Yeah, it was that long ago. That's 2017, 2018. 2016. No, 2017. 2018. You know what? Let's go find out. Through the power of the internet, I can just go to my DeviantArt and see when the fuck did I post that shit. I posted 2017. Shit, 3 years. 3 years, dude. I appreciate it a lot. Sensation, I appreciate it. Time flies, which is why I'm not wasting it on projects that I think might help with my popularity, but I'm not passionate about working on. You know, I thought those Transformers covers might help kind of get my name out a little bit, and they did the opposite. So that's why I turned down working on a series over there. I was like, I just don't want to do it, guys. You know, I just don't want to do it. I think people work. These properties are so fucking cool that and people are so they love them so much. People who really want to work on this should work on it. You know, like I don't think it should be me. Maybe that'll change in the future, but. Yeah. Look, no one comic's gonna take your popularity off. I think the real trick is how do you build, you know, like people who will follow you around, you know? And I just think with like the Transformers, like the way like Jack Lawrence draws them, where they're a little bit more humanoid and simplified, is really the smarter way to go. That's why he gets a lot of books done. But you know, I'd have to radically like rethink how I do work for that to happen. And I'm like, you know, this is probably not. Or the digi paint thing, which works for some people. I'm just not. Much as I color, I'm not much of a painter. Like I still draw shapes, so you gotta find projects that kind of like sync with you, you know. If I was to get a piece with all the villains, different Spider-Man, I'm not up for another 200-hour piece right now. I could do that on my own, you know, if I really wanted to. I'd advise him to ask Joey Vasquez to do it. You know? He's drawing over there right now. Good kid. Love Spider-Man. The only Spider-Man I'd be willing to fucking throw down on is, yeah, that's how long it takes, man, to get all the... See, you gotta understand, too, like, the Turtles piece alone took 100 hours. The Game Informer cover I did took over 100 hours. So, but I color too. So if I didn't color and I just drew it, it'd be somewhere around 40 to 60 hours to get all the villains in. You know, to get all the reference together, to get approvals. You know what I mean? To get approvals and watching editors. Can you change that face and those hands are too sharp, or that tail's a little off, or it's too cartoony on that face? Please don't make some people look anime. That's what they say. Some people look like Disney characters. Like I just get too many notes. So that's how long it kind of takes. You know, like with the Game Informer cover, I got the promise that aside from, you know, hey, this isn't working or it's hard to see, that whatever I do would be acceptable, you know? When I did the Yokoi Watch covers, it took a year to get approval on that one cover. A year from Japan. And they had all sorts of little notes that didn't really make much of a difference. So the only Spider-Man that I'd be willing to fucking draw and deal with that with Marvel is Spider-Clan. It's my favorite shit. But so if I drew more like whatever Marvel's doing now, you know, then that would change if I made everything super realistic, mostly well proportioned. I mean, it's like some artists get a pass, you know. I'm not one of them. You know, I'm not Humberto Ramos. Which, by the way, Strange Academy is the funnest fucking Marvel comic I've read in a long time. So it's like the modern version of Gen X. I really enjoy it. About 3 copies. And I don't buy mainstream comics, so I was really happy with that. Who or what company would I love to design something for? I mean, you're probably not going to care for this answer. Double Fine. I'd love to work with Tim Schafer. At least once in my life. My wife and I live in Idaho. I've even talked to her. I would relocate. I don't know how I would fucking do it, but if I could find a way, I'd relocate for a project for a year to 18 months just to work on something if I couldn't work remote, you know? Just to work with Tim Schafer at least once. But I don't think how I draw matches up with whatever they do. Maybe like something like Psychonauts or Brutal Legend. I love Psychonauts. Studio behind Shovel Knight Yacht Club games, they'd be awesome too. I mean, it's not gonna happen, you know. So, but. I like fun stuff. You know what I mean? Fun stuff. Spawn, McFarlane and Spawn. It's the only thing in comics that I'd love to do at least once. Hey, you got Tyson. You don't need me. It'd be nice to see Sega put that kind of effort into original first-party content. I was just playing the 3D Sonic on 3DS again last night. I was playing through it. Fucking love the 3D remasters on the 3DS are so good. Why there isn't a Shining Force remaster in 3D, I don't know. I wish there was. Yeah, I saw that. It looked awesome. I've seen that. It looks great. I follow all the fan games and send them to the Megavisions. So the guys who run this magazine, they've had a site called Sega Nerds for like almost 20 years, man. So like, I forward all those games. That one and the 3D one that looks like Sonic Utopia. That looks like, you know, the original Pixel stuff, but in 3D. That shit is awesome. Well, here's the thing. They can and can't. So creatively, they're in a better position because a lot of places are based around time. So like Utopia has been in production for years and years and years, just trying to get the tech to work. There aren't 5-year budgets for that, you know? A lot of the art directors at game studios directly coordinate with marketing departments, and marketing will tell you that that stuff won't work because marketing sucks. So, now, from a technological standpoint and a support standpoint and a QA and an ability to add content, no fan game can produce a 40-hour Sonic game at a AAA level, you know? Because it takes a tremendous amount of people for that to occur between quality control and content generation. So generally it's like a couple levels, you know? I do feel that for the ones that make it through, these companies should buy up the demo, pay these people, and then make versions of those games, you know? But I don't get to make those calls. So. I mean, you can see it in full effect with VR games. VR games are made by like 1 to 4 man studios mostly. So even when they get a great concept, it's very difficult to make content because there aren't the bodies to do it, you know? And then when a company gets into a VR game, they try to follow marketing. And it doesn't work. Like VR doesn't work. There isn't a market statistic for this, you know? And so I have a friend that does nothing but work on first party VR games, you know, and he, you know, I don't want to name him, but he straight up hates a lot of it because of the lack of fucking creativity. Not what could be done, but what, you know, they're constantly told will only work because this is what's working now. And it's like that it's the Wild West with this. Be creative. If we got the money, let's do it. They don't do it. So that's why you get those boring ass like Ghostbusters demos, you know, where you're like, this is not even fun. And then someone makes like a little VR demo where you can actually catch ghosts in a house and like, this is great, but there's not much of it. You're like, yeah, that's sucks. Yeah, companies don't want to pay for 2D animators. They'll pay for 3D animators, but not 2D ones. And I don't know why that is, man. You know? It sucks. On the upside, what will happen is one person could get it done. I mean, look, Banner Saga got a lot of support in terms of publishing, so I'm hoping, you know, over time this changes. But Banner Saga only got made because Kickstarter. I was there for that, you know. I backed it, so. Every one of them wants a Nintendo-like success, but none of them wants to spend the 4 to 5 years making one game like Nintendo does. Catch my drift? Like they want that in 12 to 18 months, maybe 24 tops. Sega, I know. Yeah. Hey man, I just think right now you could start by start with retro. I think retro emulation is the future of VR. Like the future of retro is VR. So you could start with emulation, Afterburner Space Error, recreate all the arcade cabinets and build a Sega arcade right now on Oculus Quest and all the platforms. You know, and have arcade accurate fucking 1-to-1 scale arcade cabinets. You know? Yeah, it's tough, dude. Look, I do character design for games now. You know, like it's weird how that worked out. And there are times I've submitted designs that everyone agrees are fucking awesome, but there are budget limitations. There are like this would require a certain level of rigging to make one element work, and you know they got to pick and choose time and effort. So, case in point, I had to do a dragon design on Spyro. They had done almost every idea they could think of, so it was supposed to be this dream dragon. So I made him like a tooth fairy, but a fisherman for teeth. So I came up with this fishing pole, and it was like the way I designed the fishing pole looked fucking cool, but I had to change the what do you call that? The fishing line, because they can't rig it. It would add a rigging point. The dragon appears for like 1 second, you know, says something and goes away. So it needed to be molded. And when I did that, it didn't have the same fucking vibe. And then it's just things like that, you know? So every time you design something, it's tough. Sometimes if you keep that in mind too much, it'll prevent you from creating original designs. At the same time, if they tell you, hey, don't do that right now, so I'll generally submit designs that can't work, and they'll be like, hey, do this, do that, change it. But when we're in the crunch, I have to really not do that, you know? So. Yeah, it's who I work with. Toys for Bob. We did Spyro. And they did a lot of work on the Crash Bandicoot game, uncredited. Hey, what's up, Daisuke? Been a while. Yeah. So. They did whatever that re-release was that Vicarious Visions did, but Toys for Bob did a lot of work. I didn't work on that one. I worked on Spyro. Yeah, it's not how it works, though, guys. Artists, yeah, but studios do work that it's complicated. It's not they didn't get credit. It's complicated why that happens, man. It's above my pay grade, so I don't really want to get into it here. But I do agree everyone should get credited. I can't tell you how many times I've worked on projects where it didn't. However, If you work on a major project and you're not going to get the credit, at least get paid. No, I never worked on Five Nights on Freddy. Sorry. Not me. Yeah, someone else. Yeah, no one likes that, man. But if someone pays you, they have a right not to publish. Story of my career, bro. I've worked on many projects that just never got published or finished or. When they're cutting the checks, they don't have to make it. That's the way it works. They have to pay it, but I've had Past clients do the... Hey, let's take a year to invoice. It's not right, but it happens. They do. Never understood why they get paid less than coders, but hopefully that'll change over time. Oh, I wouldn't. I went to an art school and it never helped me do anything. Let's go to regular college. Go to community college, pay it off. And then you're gonna have to spend your nights developing your own shit on your own. Even when I was in art college, I still had to spend my nights doing my own art, working 40 hours plus a week at a Kinko's to get an art job before I got on my salary art gig while I was in college because I didn't trust the school. Rightfully so. I had $40,000 tuition, total tuition, made regular payments, and still owed $71,000 after 4 or 5 years of regular payments. Both my parents died, and between their combined inheritance, I had about 70 grand left over, and I paid it off. So it took all my inheritance to pay off the student loans. And even though I had been making regular payments, full payments, it didn't touch the principal, so it ballooned almost double. It's a giant fucking scam, you know? Had I known it was going to cost $71,000, I never would have gone. $40,000, I thought, yeah, I could pay that off. I could pay off $40,000 in 10 years. Back in 2002, even I knew I could. 71 to 150,000? No. No. I don't blame people for going to art schools. I blame art schools for thinking for lying to people and saying they can teach you perspective in 8 weeks and then charging you $2,000 a week to do it, or $2,000 a class to do it, or $10,000 a class to do whatever it is now. You know? I could tell you this, though. Here's the biggest problem with learning everything on the internet. If you do end up in a studio system where you got to make changes, a lot of them fucking freak out over it, man. They freak out. You know? But they're not as... People, you'd be surprised how differently motivated people get when they don't have control over what they're working on. Forget the money. I'm just talking about when they don't have control. Like, hey, today you're working on staplers, but my portfolio is filled with fucking awesome sci-fi robots. Yeah, but we need you to do a stapler. And there's going to be notes and changes on that stapler. You know what I mean? And then when you put the stapler in a portfolio, you get 1 like. No one gives a shit. So, like, you got to understand, dude. Like, it's just not... Yeah, it's like being on a basketball team ain't about making all the 3-pointers, right? You gotta be able to pass the ball and set people up, and that shit doesn't fucking make for good highlights, you know? And I've worked in actual art departments where I've seen this happen, you know? People that I even went to school with. I got a guy that I went to school with, the job in an art department doing t-shirts. Just fucking just couldn't deal not being the only guy who got to decide what he did. So there's just no one way, you know? There's no one way, there's no guarantee. You don't really know what you're going to do until you're doing it. You don't know how you're going to respond until it's on you. Money solves a problem, doesn't solve all the problems. Talent solves a problem, doesn't solve all the problems. I don't think art schools should charge any more than 1 year's worth of salary for the average artist. That's what I think. And then I also think that, you know, it should be a 5-year program where the first year you get the fundamentals, but you're expected to fucking improve upon them on your own. You know, and if you don't make it to a certain level of graduating to the next class, they drop you. You know? And then when you get to the next one, you build items, and you don't fucking like... One of the biggest problems I saw AI was that you would build assets that you would never reuse. So you'd have an animation class, you got 11 weeks. You'd spend 5 to 6 weeks just modeling something, even if you're not a modeler. And then you did another 5 or 6 weeks animating it. And then you go to another class and you have to model something new to animate that. Like, you don't... So fucking dumb. That's not how it works. 1 second. So, a lot of the YouTubers, man, super fucking talented. But working in production's a whole separate thing, you know? So I always say, you want a good experience, hire an artist to do something, you know? Once you start hiring people to do things, and then they don't turn in the work that you expect, how do you getting the thing you need and not being an asshole? It's just tough. I hired writers to help me with Game Caves, a comic I'm going to start up here soon. Because I was like, you know, I don't got time to write it. I have it plotted out. I'll hire, you know, and I found really talented people. But they just kept producing. I would specifically say things like, I don't want a love story. I don't want a love story. I don't want a dude that saves this chick. I just don't want this. And then I'd get back this treatment, and it was a dude saving my character. I'm like, I specifically... I finally went through it again last summer with a thing called Little Reapers I was going to do. Worked out a whole outline, and I just needed the outline worked into 4-issue comic book issues. I hired a guy who had fantastic work. Like, sent me these treatments. They were perfect. I read them. I loved them. Perfect tone, fun, got it. Handed me back the scripts, and they were literally my outline. Like, it was just like he copy and pasted my outline into a script form. I'm like, why am I paying you? Why am I paying you money to do? I could have done that. That's not. Never mind, man. You know what I mean? I paid him. Cut it out. I'm done. You know, I can't do this. I mean, and if you're wondering, does Rob actually like follow his own? Yeah, well, this is why when I do indie books like Rumble Kings and whatnot, you know, I put in the same level of effort that would go into. This was my cover for IDW, right? I did all this, the lines, the colors, but I put, you know, the same level of effort into an indie book for Lana Luca or Earth Outlaws or where's the Rumble Kings? I like the Rumble Kings. The Rumble Kings, right? Those are indie books. But a lot of guys, man, especially when they're new, they don't do that. It's complicated, man. And I don't blame them. There's just not a lot of training for that sort of thing, you know? Huh? Yeah, no, you do. I'm just. I get the videos out there. It's just I wish it were as simple, you know. So I'm not trying to lecture you. I don't expect people to know. So if I sound a little like, here's how it actually works, that's not that at all. It's just not as cut and dry, you know. And um, it's like life. Life gets more. I used to go to Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con when I was your age. San Diego Comic Con. I grew up in San Diego, and my first one was 1992. I went every year throughout high school and up until 98 when I joined the military. And I'd spent all my time in Artist Alley. I wouldn't spend my time in line getting signatures. I spent all my time in Artist Alley talking to pros or really mid pros and old. There's a lot of older artists or newer artists who didn't have booth space. And con was way different than not like it is now. It wasn't a giant circus or a giant. It wasn't how I say it. It was way smaller. So a lot of the advice given to me I felt was never available like in a Wizard magazine or an art magazine at the time, and super true, you know. So I always just try to be like, let me at least give you a slightly broader perspective on things. Mind you, they always change, but some of these things are pretty universal, you know.
I swear rain doesn't fall on my fields. It takes a drought to avoid all the secrets that I concealed. Hidden within the dust-covered land behind the city. The street lights are dim and the fog is always walking with me. It's nothing new, my eyes adjusted to the scene. Flickering on and off, it's just the daily routine. I grab a hold of time, forcing not to leave. The weeds grow sporadic and my home is where I'm quarantined. Thinking less, move the top to where the fuel rests. Giving all I got to breathe life to the common sense. Moving the top to where the fuel rests. Giving all I got to breathe life to your silhouette. Silhouette, 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 silhouette. Each one of us has our own destiny. A place where we come from and a place where we're going. Sometimes what we see or touch might be rough or rigid. Like a wax painting a sound, stressed to fill the holes in the life we've been living. And each one of us has a story, different plots intertwined and connected. We pass in the street, but all we notice are the vibes are reflected. Question is, do we take or deflect? It seems heavy, but when I roll my hands was steady. The whites of his eyes seen from the paper till I was ready. Frustration became more common than being calm and outcast. Walked in the motion of every song till it fades. I washed away the shades of color, peeled back the winter, bringing light to my summer. I spent the longest time trying to decide on who to be. My destiny manifests, my mind's in the open sea. See, I feel better when I'm alone. Escape my own past, creation of time zones I flipped. See my eyes focus on every trip. Reaching for the sky becomes harder with every hit till it clears. The smoke settles on all my fears. Rain drops and covers the remains of every tear that I flip. See my eyes focus on every trip. Reaching for the sky becomes harder with every hit. Every hit, every hit, every hit, every hit, every hit.
Okay, this is off. So give me a second. In my sketch, I did not do this properly. Yeah, that's how it works. It's been that way for 10 years. In high school and in college and in every studio I've ever worked at, I've been called the secret weapon. So, I generally am the guy that you don't really know about. It's not just limited to the internet. Popularity hasn't hurt me getting work though, so all you really need is someone who can write checks or the power to authorize checks. Okay, that did absolutely fucking nothing.
And I tried to pick a material that would, not be too difficult to get into, and at the same time have a certain intellectual capacity. And so it turned out to be more or less a jazz party.
The way I look at the stream is this. It's kind of like, when you walk up to a restaurant, sometimes you can see some dude making the pizza. When I was a kid, they used to have this pizza place, guy just sitting there making the pizzas. I'd watch him so I can learn how to make a fucking pizza. This is work that I get paid to do whether I get streamers or not. People do want to support me though. Ko-fi.com/Sketchcraft, buy me coffee. Or buy shit in the store. I got stuff in the store. But $3 plug. Well, my advice is become a millionaire and then animate. You know, do it in that order. Become a millionaire, then become an animator. I'm not saying it isn't possible. Never tell anyone things are not possible. But you gotta be realistic too. For me, it's always just being able to create the ideas that were in my head. I didn't have the talent to do it. For the longest time, I didn't have the talent to do it. It took me a long time to learn how and to develop a process to be able to create the ideas that are in my head. Then you have a whole other problem, getting someone to pay you for it, right? That means you have to translate the ideas that are in their head. So if you can translate the ideas in your head, then you have to learn to translate the ideas in other people's heads. Sometimes they don't know what they want. They think they do. Sometimes they think they know what they want, but they don't. So you have to show them what they think they want and also show them what you're pretty certain they actually want. And then you have to learn an iteration, which is a form of compromise. Then you just gotta hope your health holds out. Monty Ohm was one of the best animators I'd ever seen. I was there when he first did Haloid, you know, and the Dead Fantasy stuff. Who knew the dude was fucked? He didn't even know he was allergic to penicillin. Died way too young for no fucking reason, you know. Breaks your heart, don't it? Think about him every day. I think about Monty Ohm every time I heat up my coffee. You know that? This is true. He told me once, we were chatting in I think it was like Newgrounds, something like that. It was one of those fucking things. You know, and I was like, how do you get so much work done? Because at the time I was in college and I was working, and I was like, how do you get this much shit done? You know, and look, fact of the matter is, too, super fucking talented, and he was working his ass off, right? But, like, one of the things he said is, like, you know, man, I try to make efficiencies where I can, you know? Like, when I type in the timer on the microwave, I don't put in 1 minute, I put in 60, because it's 2 numbers instead of 3 numbers, right? So, like, that's a small example. So, like, I think about it all the time, you know? Like, instead of 1:30, type in 90 seconds. You know? But that doesn't replace the fucking fact that dude was uber fucking talented, you know? And art takes time, man. That's why it's like, art takes time. It takes time. You can create all the programs you want to minimize repetitive tasks, but at the end of the day, it takes time and talent and iteration. You know? I allow that pressure to happen to me on work, but with my projects and these side projects, I don't. I don't allow. I don't allow myself to be rushed. I try not to take too long, but I just don't. One of the most frustrating things in the world, especially when you're working on your own stuff, is you start doing this math in your head, right? Or maybe on paper where you're trying to find, well, it would take this long to do this, but if I only did this much and then did this, and then I could get it done half the time. You spend all your time trying to do this like project math instead of just getting on with it, you know? So it's like, there's guys that I know that are super fucking talented. You know, I'll say it. Like, I think John Rector is one of the best fucking artists on the internet. I think John spends way too much fucking time. I've told him this. I said, you spend a lot of time trying to find efficiencies where you should just accept that this is going to take a while. You know? People love what you're doing. Getting people to love what you do is hard enough. You know, he wants to constantly do it faster. And I'm like, just do it at that pace and just keep doing it. You'll get faster through the fucking repetition of it. You know? And why shift your audience over to something new when they already love what you do? Like, I can't figure that one out. You know? Because my heart always aches when he starts doing this math and he goes, oh, I've done this thing and I've worked this and I get this time. I'm like, just, John, you're so talented. Just draw the shit. You know, like, there's no way to get around doing, like, the turtle stuff, right? Like, that piece with all the fucking, especially when you're redrawing all those covers, there's no way around that. They have to be redrawn. If you use the photos, it's going to look like dog shit. Sorry, I don't like those. I've seen people do the arcade rooms where it's just, they take the photos, do a little paint jobs and kind of paint over them. I don't like that. I want the shit to look like I drew everything because I drew everything. That's it. There's no way around it. You're going to have to do the work. It's going to have to do the work. It's going to fucking be exhausting. That's the work. You got to fall in love with doing the work, man. You know, you can get efficient, but at some point, the work's going to take what it's going to take, you know? There's only so much you can do. Even hiring more people doesn't always solve the problem. I mean, plenty of places I've worked at where they're like, oh, we'll just hire more artists, we'll get more work done. I'm like, no, well, you can end up getting a lot of the same work done by having double the people. They're all making the same thing because they're all looking at one another, trying to be like, someone else has it figured out when no one has it figured out. You know, hiring more people doesn't always solve your problem either. You have to have the vision, the execution, the time in, the luck. It's hard. It's hard. You know? Just the way it is. And that doesn't make a very good video for YouTube, you know? Like, it's hard. Better enjoy it, you know? I got real lucky that my entire childhood was based around this. It's fucking super hard and no one's gonna fucking congratulate you, because my father would just be like, that's how shit's supposed to get done. Just, you don't get thanks for doing what. I don't agree with that, but you know, I reward the people when they do well with projects that I work with them on. But I was trained for this because my father was a fucking taskmaster who held me to a standard that he did not hold himself to. So frustrating. So frustrating. And all my friends go, why do you even fucking care? I'm like, because I just don't want to deal with it. I just want to get this done and move on to my next fucking thing, you know? So I got real lucky to have this natural ability to weather the shit, get it done at the level it needs to get done, and also get my own shit done. You know? They can't teach you that in school. It's like I have this set up for 2 other robots. Do I really need the 2 other robots? That's what I was asking myself when I get to this point. I mean, I definitely got these 2. These 2 are in the layout. What does the cover look like with just these 2? Okay. With the 2 other robots, then it's the multiplayer game. See what I mean? With just those 2 robots, it's cool. I'd have to kind of redo some of that background now. I kind of designed that background with the idea there'd be something there. With these robots, I need to make them looser though. That's the goal, is to make them super sketchy. So we're going to mix some of this sketchiness with. But it's a multiplayer game. Like, I mean, it's got 8 different robots. 2 dudes isn't enough. Even when Joe Mad did the cover to PlayStation Magazine for Street Fighter Alpha 3, he had 4 characters on there. So, it's the way it is. sign myself up for this, so. I was always told by art directors that I think too much about this stuff, but if I have an understanding of what I'm doing, then I don't have to hope that it'll all work out. I'll know if it's not working out, and I can pivot. Well, this piece is going well enough, you know. I gotta draw those legs, but I need to get up. It's been 2 hours. I need to go stand up for about... Give me a 10-15 minute break. Then I'm gonna wrap up these legs. Matter of fact, you know what I'll do? I'll turn on the whole cover again. So people can actually fucking see what this shit's supposed to look like. Alright. Give me a little bit. Shit, I just realized it's 6:30. I'm gonna have to finish this up tomorrow, guys. I gotta make dinner. I thought I had another hour. The time change is fucking with me. So my bad. So actually we're just gonna pause it here, and tomorrow I'm gonna wrap up those legs, which won't take me that long. That's probably an hour or so's worth of work. It's gonna be super easy. And then we'll start drawing these dudes. Yeah, daylight savings always fucking screws me up. So, all right, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out. Always feel free to ask questions, leave comments, tip me coffee, buy a print. Go out there. Don't give anyone high fives. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Peace. Maddie. Brandon better be washing his hands. No one likes a dirty potato. Nobody.